Hello, and how are you doing? My name is Miss Ray, and I am the founder and owner of Deep in the Roots Hair Salon. Today I'm going to show you and talk to you about interlocking. Interlocking versus palm rolling, and why we think that interlocking is the most safest and healthiest form of locking. So here our model is Nicole. Nicole will be sitting here while we demonstrate. So Nicole is due for her interlocking, so we're going to show you a before and after. And while we're doing that, Deep in the Roots have their own natural hairline. And the reason why we have our own natural hairline is because when you're going natural, when you continue to use the chemicalized products, they are very harmful and harsh to your hair, causing a lot of dryness, breaking, and a lot of damage into it. So if you're going to switch and transition from the chemicals, you need to also transition your products and be mindful of what's in them. When reading your products, you have to be cautious of the first 5 to 7 ingredients, but that's a whole nother YouTube. So today we're just going to focus on interlocking and grooming. And we use this Deep in the Roots moisturizer. It's a shea butter moisturizer. It is a shea butter paste that we use on the scalp to moisturize as we're grooming the hair. And then we take the loose hair that's on the lock and we wrap it back into the lock. Some people cut it off. I really don't think that that's healthy because after a while it'll begin to really thin the locks. So we just take the hair and wrap the hair back into the lock to keep it nicely groomed and tight to cut down on frizzing. And if the locks are getting in your way, you can just put a rubber band on them. If you're doing it at the house or if you're at a salon, then we generally use clamps to hold the hair out of the way. And so when we're doing this, the interlocking holds it tight at the root so that way it's not, your lock is not getting too heavy and pulling the fragile new growth that's at your base. When the new growth comes, see, we do the interlocking because the interlocking keeps the lock tight at the base. And see, as you see how the new growth comes in, do you see how fragile that new growth is? When you feel it, it's very fragile. So what happens is when the lock gets too heavy for the new growth, it will pull and snap it from the hair shaft. So when they're doing a palm rolling and they just constantly twisting, after a while of the twisting rotation, if you can see there, it begins to snap the hair up out the follicle. So the reason why we do the interlocking, as you can see here, the interlocking holds it tight at the base. So therefore, if the lock gets too heavy, it's not tearing out the fragile new growth. So it keeps it strong enough and tight enough to where if you want to pull the locks up or wear up, do or braid it, you're not putting stress on the root. So that's why we choose the interlocking over the palm rolling. After a while, when you look at a lot of people who have palm rolling, their locks have thinned really badly at the top. And then you have the thickness on the bottom of the lock and it begins to pull it out. And here we have Nicole Woods. Nicole's just got through getting her hair interlocked and groomed. And I'm gonna open it up so that you can see the interlocking. All right, Nicole. Nicole, how long have you been coming to Deep in the Roots?
Well, I've been coming to Deep in the Roots for a little over a year now. It was this time last year when I received the flyer at the grocery store to come and to consider interlocking. And since then, I've been a patron, good client coming here.
All right. So Nicole, did you know the difference between palm rolling and interlocking prior to coming to Deep in the Roots?
No, I was not unaware of that.
Have you seen any people that have palm rolling and that had made you notice the difference between what you're getting and what they have?
Yes, I've seen them, but they actually noticed a difference in my hair first when they would ask me, what type of locks do you have?
And so what were some of the things that they noticed about your locks that they felt like their locks wasn't, what was the difference?
They were pretty much looking at the root of my hair. Was like, how are they locking your hair? Because it doesn't look exactly like mine. And then when I explained it to them, they was like, oh, okay. Well, they asked what's the difference. I'm like, well, call this number Deep in the Roots to get a better understanding between the difference, because I couldn't provide that answer.